Hey everyone, what is up? We are here to talk Silk. Give me 1 second, let some guys in. How's everyone doing tonight, this Saturday night? So, Silk got announced as a TV show that's going to be streaming most likely on Amazon in conjunction with MGM Plus, as well as who the showrunner is going to be, which is actually kind of cool because she's a huge fan of Silk, and Um, unfortunately, Amy Pascal likes her, so I mean that doesn't really do anything for her because a lot of people aren't a fan of Amy Pascal. But Kang is definitely a huge fan of Silk, and one of the biggest things that she's been saying about this new gig that she's had is there was a lot going on when this now was announced. So a little belatedly, here's the new gig. I love this character working with Phil Lordy, Chris Miller as is as delightful as you'd imagine. Grateful to Lord Miller and Amy Pascal at SPTV and my new creative home, Amazon Studios, for the opportunity to tell the stories of Marvel's Cindy Moon. Now, we first saw Cindy Moon way back in not Amazing Spider-Man, but Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming, you got to see just a skirt, which we know is one of Silk's or Cindy Moon's one of those things that she's known for, and one of those things that you see her wearing a lot in the Spider-Man universe. Then you see her dive into all of this speculation, and the character was speculated for a few other projects, including Into the Spider-Verse, including Across the Spider-Verse. Wasn't in Into the Spider-Verse. Don't know what's going to happen for Across the Spider-Verse. And then we didn't actually see her in Spider-Man Far From Home or Spider-Man No Way Home, but we weren't expecting her to show up in either of those projects. So it's kind of interesting the way that they've played this character over the years and how she's been a very different character than most Spider people. She has two different origin stories that the Spider's Lair is going to get into. There he is. What's up, Spider's Lair? Take your time, buddy. We'll see you when you get here. And Alex has popped in a couple times, but popped right out. So it's definitely interesting to see how they're going to play this because there's been a lot of speculation around Tarantula, Ezekiel kind of being one of the Madam Web villains. And we don't really know who's going to be the villain of Silk yet because there hasn't really been much talked about besides the fact that there is a showrunner announced and that it will be on Amazon for the most part. That's pretty much the only news we have. So basically, who is Cindy Moon? Cindy Moon was brought about during the original Sin storyline in Amazing Spider-Man 4 and Amazing Spider-Man 5. I believe the writer was Dan Slott. And she has a few different code names about her, one being Silkworm, and was part of the Spider Army, and then obviously the Spider Society, which kind of goes after her namesake. What's up, VK? It goes after her namesake, and it kind of brings about this idea that Silk and the character Cindy Moon is going to play a major role in Madam Web and every project that will come out for the Spider-Verse, the Sony Spider-Verse that they're building live action within the next 5 years. And we know there's going to be a Venom 3. We know there's going to be more Spider-Man projects. We know, obviously, Tom Holland's on for Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6, as well as 3 MCU movies. That's just his current contract. That's just what we have learned about so far. And who knows where Tom Hardy is going to go in all of this. Who knows if Morbius is going to come back, if they're going to change up that character, how they might change that up. And I mean, there's a lot to do with that character because he really is an amazing character to deal with. I mean, you've got Blade coming out soon. Blade would be perfect to go up against Morbius. And they've done so before in the comics. There's been a ton of stuff with a living vampire. And to say that they can't do anything with these characters would just do a disservice to everyone involved, because there's so many different spider stories to go after. So, yes, Dan Slott. So he was created by Dan, or she was created by Dan Slott in April of 2014. Cindy Moon first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man #1, and she was a member of the Spider Army, like I said, the Web Warriors, and even the Agents of Atlas. So if you want to get any of those comics, they are definitely worth reading. The Dan Slott run of Amazing Spider-Man is one of my absolute downright favorites. He basically has created the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man story that we know to love today, and has just been downright wonderful. What? Okay. Cindy Moon's first full appearance as Silk was in Amazing Spider-Man 4, and she is kind of just like Spider-Man, a human mutate. It's interesting to see that there are many bits about her that she has kind of changed and tweaked and moved around based on the ways that we knew Spider People prior to Silk, prior to 2014, and then what came out after. Some of her superpowers obviously include very similar to Spider-Man, and she is just a downright badass. She is obviously a wall crawler, superhuman strength, speed, durability, reflexes, and equilibrium. But the cool thing about her, the interesting thing about her, is that she has organic webbing. So the best way to think about this is basically the same way that Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker had organic webbing. He obviously had it come out of here, but she actually has it come out of her 2 fingers. And that's interesting in of itself. And again, when Spider's Lair finally is able to jump on here, he can get a lot more into this. This was basically something he wanted to talk about, and I'm really excited to hear from him because he is just a massive Silk fan. Some of the other things about her is that she has the long-range precognitive spider sense, which, it being long range, is even cooler, and it kind of even gets into like what we were talking about with Madam Web, and how Madam Web is this precog and mutant who basically can see multiple universes, multiple futures, all different kinds of stuff about her. And in the MCU, she was portrayed by Tiffany Epson in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in Spider-Man Homecoming, and in Avengers Infinity War. And in the SSU, so that's basically the newest term for Spider-Man's universe with Sony, the Sony Spider-Man universe, the SSU, instead of the SPUMC that it used to be, the Sony Pictures universe of spider characters, that it was just too long and too out there. It wasn't a fun way to do it. So let's see, what else can we get into? What if I send these guys the right link? Sorry, talk amongst yourself, ask some questions in the chat. Trying to figure out what happened here. So, while we're waiting for them, something I do want to talk about and something I am very curious about and hearing your thoughts on. We got a lot of people watching live, so I don't want to sit with too much dead air, and I do apologize for that. But what is everyone's thoughts on the DC universe right now? The DC EU or the James Gunn DC universe, however you want to say. It's interesting to me because everybody wanted this to be taken in a new direction. Everyone was excited for James Gunn to join, and then he finally did join a couple years ago, did a phenomenal job with the Suicide Squad, did a phenomenal job with the Peacemaker character and story, and now he goes and scraps a bunch of stuff and people want him fired. It's like, you wanted this guy. He can do no wrong. He really is an amazing director who has just downright changed the way we think about characters, the way we think about storylines, and created this wonderful story for the Guardians of the Galaxy. He brought to life the beautiful world of Nowhere and Xandar, and I mean, these were just amazing stories, amazing places, and honestly, like, bar none, there's hardly any movies that stand up to this day that have to do with James Gunn. And I mean, so the fact that he's on the chopping block right now at DC is astounding to me. What's up, Alex?
Hello. Sorry that I'm late. I had to help my family with something.
Nah, you're good. Totally understand.
Yeah.
How's everything going?
Everything's getting good. Raining right now. Super windy and super rainy all of a sudden today.
Okay.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
And I'm doing well. Have a date tomorrow, so I'm happy about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet?
Online.
Hey.
To be honest, like, it's fine. It's like, I don't want to go out really. So I was like, might as well try online again. So, because I haven't done it like in over a year. So I was like, might as well. And then we matched and we clicked, and yeah.
Very cool.
Been talking for 2 weeks now.
As long as you don't get abducted and kidnapped and killed, like, hey.
Yeah. Yo, I'll be streaming live from kidnapping. This is the Comics Lounge exclusive. Alex been kidnapped. Here we go live from Alex's phone. Be like, yo, I'm in the trunk right now. It's dark.
Somebody call 911. I have Wi-Fi, but I cannot call myself. I'd rather be here.
Yeah, I just gotta let the world know what's happening. It was going all good. I thought it was just kinky stuff. I thought being tied up was something they were into, but no. Once I was going in the trunk, I knew something was up.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and it's pretty cool, too. I went in for a comic book on Wednesday to pick up the Bad Idea.
Okay.
You know, like they're doing the Bad Idea promotion and stuff, right? The fan cup.
No.
And instant prizes and stuff. Oh yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, last week I won one of the instant prizes, so I was like, yay!
That's awesome.
They haven't contacted me yet, so probably gonna email them. Anyways, but no, so I was gonna pick up the new Bad Idea book, and to my surprise, they were having a signing from a local artist. Let me see. He's the artist of this book over here, The Miracles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he signed it for me. And I even got the hardcover.
Oh.
I even got the hardcover of it because I was like, oh, sweet, 20 extra pages.
Don't tease. Put it back on the screen. Greetings, everyone. What's up?
Yeah.
What's
Oh,
up?
nice.
So I got this.
Chilling.
Yeah. So the local artist was at my comic book shop, and he's a customer too at my local comic book shop.
Ah,
And he came to
nice.
sign this. He did the art for this book.
Who's the publisher?
Um,
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I don't know the publisher, but it was. I think it might have been independent stuff.
Okay, very cool.
Oh, wait. Give me one second.
Queer Comics and Joe Glass.
What's going on?
That's the publisher. So it was independently published.
Okay.
So it's cool. And I got, like I said, I got the hardcover too. And have you heard of this comic before? Let me see.
My little puppy likes to be on TV now.
Elk Mountain.
Hey.
Elk Mountain? No, I haven't heard of that.
Because he also did the artwork for this, and he also signed it for me.
Okay.
Too. He's a really
That
cool
looks
guy.
cool.
His
Very
name
cool.
is. Let me see. I should remember this. Vince Underwood. Yeah, he's been living in Merced, and I was like, "Oh, sweet, might as well." I was the first one to get my stuff signed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
Hey,
I'm
why
happy
not?
about that.
Always support the local artists. You know,
Yeah.
They
Definitely.
become
One of the
future.
first interviews I ever did on here was with Kevin Delgado, and he just got a book that he did a cover for Vanish #1, which
Oh,
was
shit.
by Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman. And I was like, that's just so cool. And it's like $15 to get the book and have him sign it. I was like, ooh, that might be something worth doing. I mean, that's someone that came to my local comic shop. He's from an hour down the road in Buffalo, and definitely up there in
That's amazing.
like,
I think I
great
remember
artistry.
that. I remember that
So,
interview.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh yeah, and Donnie.
Camera.
There's actually a quote on here from Donnie Cates who read the.
Oh, look, I had to wear the sweater.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I have a better one coming, but you know,
Very cool.
it
Hey,
comes
yo.
from China, so you know how that is.
What happened
Yep.
to
I gotta
Spidey
figure out how to
undies?
do this smaller so I can get more of myself in. You know, so I can get the hands in. Be watching the hand videos.
I thought you were gonna wear your Spidey undies today. What happened?
Well, you know what? They were restricting my movement, so I decided that we're all just free balling this evening. It's all good.
Hey, do what you
What
gotta
do you
do.
mean, all of us?
Well, I thought you were wearing underwear.
Dude, you should have known that was a joke.
You said you wasn't wearing underwear, bro.
Dude, I'm
I
not
asked
that
you, I
big.
said, where your
Hey,
Spidey tighties?
I
You
don't
said
have
no.
that much to free ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so man enough to admit it.
It's all good, man. Oh wait, hold on. You know what?
Oh, is it?
pulling
Is it
some.
a joke or is it true?
Oh,
The world may never know. Hopefully,
I
you
forget.
guys will never know.
Hopefully your date finds out next week.
Hey, I think it might. I think she
these
might.
are silks
No,
I
it's
got
actually
back from CGC.
No, tomorrow.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh wait,
Silk #1.
Is that #1?
Yeah. You want to see it again? Hold on. Look, check it
Yeah.
out.
Is
Don't
that
tease us.
that's her first self-titled?
Hey, look, there's my feet. There's my icon.
Wait,
Very
I got
cool.
2 more variants too. These are the ones I was just speculating on a while back, and I picked them up, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, definitely, I want these, and I got them all for a good price. That's silk #2.
Silk #2.
Look at them.
I love that.
Yo.
Love that
Pop
cover.
the head.
Hey, is she wearing the J's?
I like the back too. Check out the back. Check out.
Oh
the
yeah,
back.
I want one of those Venom
It's pretty
watches.
tight. Yeah, I definitely do too. And this
They're
is like
expensive though. I'm
let me
broke.
see.
On that note, if anyone wants to come
This-
to my show tonight to
Yeah.
support me,
I love that cover. That's
And
the
this
most
one,
recent story,
too.
right?
I like that.
This
I
is
like
from
that cover.
2015. This is a 2015. So this is pretty much like what I said. Like when we were talking about earlier in the chat, we could talk about now because it'll all tie into the society. But she has like 2 origin stories, but they're the same story pretty much. It's almost like as if Silk at one point could have been like what we would call an amazing Spider-Man character that was turned into a spectacular Spider-Man character, which is Silk that we have now. I feel she's more of the Peter Parker aspect. If we had to do a side-by-side comparison, I feel like they have her kind of slotted in that kind of genre, whether it was intentional or not, which I'm fine with, because with this character, what's great is you could just grow from here. There's not a lot of work to do. Like, there's not a lot of back in origin story, and a lot of her stuff is mixed in 2 different universes anyway, so it doesn't matter. You could just take this time now and construct it. But go ahead, Chris. That's what I was just gonna say real quick.
No, you're good. So
All right.
I kind of got into like who Silk was, but what is her true origin story? Like from what you know, break it down for us.
Okay, so from what I know about her true origin story was that the same spider that bit Peter Parker
Mm-hmm.
makes it to her somehow. She becomes bit, but I believe at some point she was either a runaway or she was a refugee, and
Wait,
they
she's
pretty much,
Korean, right?
yeah, she's Korean. So when
Okay.
they pretty
Wait,
much
Korean or
kidnapped
Korean
her
American?
and took her back to Korea,
Oh,
and because she didn't know who she was or what she could do, she was pretty much learning how to become, I guess, like a spider person, but without no training. So she had to train it under brutal conditions, and she was becoming stronger and stronger to the point that she became loose. She escapes, and she goes back to New York to settle some scores because the people who originally kidnapped her were, I think they were a Korean like mafia that they dealt with like human trafficking and everything. So this was like kind of a like her story seems like it's like it's political in a way too, but it also seems real. Yo, what's up? So that's what I got from her origin story. So the same spider that bit her Peter Parker is the same spider that bit her. However, now as she's getting closer and she's coming back to New York, like her pheromones are like right in tune with Peter Parker's pheromones, and there's a lot of chemistry that goes on in there.
Ooh,
I got
spider
to
babies.
the point of when they were pretty much like hooking up, but I didn't get further than that.
Wait, they hooked up?
They were. It's weird. It's hard to say if they did or they did it, but yeah, it was getting hot and heavy. So I was
it
like,
like
"Oh,
hanging
this is
off the
crazy."
walls type shit?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
damn,
forget
that
what
is
book it was
freaky.
in, but
That
I'm
is
gonna be
freaky.
doing because now that this is hot again, I'm gonna be pulling all my silks and I'm gonna be CGCing some stuff. So this is something I'm gonna be definitely reading about, previewing about. I'm gonna make videos about it. I'm gonna animate these things. I'm gonna do whatever. It's gonna be fun. So
Woo.
this is coming up, and I just like the fact that this is all virgin stories. So it's a great thing that Sony is producing this. Thank you, Sony. This is the only reason why I have faith in it, because I believe that if they let this go the way Netflix let this go. Oh, and by the way, just a quick update. I don't know if you guys keep up with all the Marvel Daredevil stuff, but I do. Like they said to me that was one of the best like Netflix series ever made.
Hell yeah,
Period.
it was.
Silk. Take some notes from these people on Netflix.
Hell yeah.
But we do have production that's not being done by Amazon. So we good with that. So the production is going to be outside. Sony's going to take care of that. Sony's going to hook this up. This could be like, for me, I feel like if they run the story right, because first of all, there's just so many like there's like, I mean, if you go through all the universes, 616 is supposed to be like the real universe, but then there's so many other universes that cross over the Spider-Verse. I mean, like it's to the point where I feel like this. It's like with Silk, if they do it correctly, like she can be like she should be, and she is going to be like the focal point of finding. Like, you ever see like the old DC shows where Batman was in the background, but they'll never show him because he's just too big to put on TV. That's what they need to do with Silk and the Silk Society. They're like, I don't want to call them the Titans, but I would say start them like the Titans and let them work their way up. And who knows, maybe you'll have a Spider-Man show up one day. I don't know, but I feel like there's just so much potential for this because the production looks like it's going to be good. The story looks structured. It seems like they know what they're doing because they wanted to put it. I think Netflix actually lost the bid to them, if I'm being honest. I mean, they don't really talk about these bids a lot. So when the info gets out there, it's very like, you know, on the hush hush. But I believe that they were outbid. Amazon just slightly outbid Netflix for this. So Netflix didn't get it and Amazon got it, but still, Amazon has a good distribution. And I believe that with Sony producing it, I mean, I see great potential in this. So what are your thoughts on this, guys?
Well, Daredevil's the whole reason that that Netflix kind of started going in a new direction. It was like, hey, we can make our own shows.
Yes.
And if it wasn't for all that, like, Netflix probably wouldn't have done that. Amazon probably wouldn't have been like, you know what, let's jump on that bandwagon. And yeah, I could totally see the fact that Amazon was able to outbid Netflix, especially with all the success that Amazon's been having with their Prime shows lately. Amazon Video has just been so far ahead of so many things. They've been coming out with all different genres, all different
they did go with the boys
ideas,
like the superhero stuff.
Yeah, I did like the boys. I hate the Rings of Power though. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. If you watch it,
it's not Amazon. That's the people who created Rings of Power.
I know, man. Listen, I'm not bashing them. Listen, I like Amazon. You know, hey, everything can't be a hit, you know. But yeah, like you say, that whole right has nothing to do with Jeff Bezos. Hey, Jeff, hire us. Look, they don't want fans. We will make that money back.
Now we have Disney wanting
to
hire.
Firing people like right off the bat. Oh, I'm sorry,
you're
man,
asking
but
Disney
I can imagine.
to hire
We're
us.
just
Now
not
you're asking
firing
Amazon.
Yo, that's it. We're gonna take over.
He doesn't give a shit who hires him. He just wants to write a show.
You can write whatever you want.
Just make sure you store us in it, okay?
There you
make
go.
Sure you have Chris and me in it.
Yeah, no problem, man. I got all you.
Make sure you hire us personal trainers so we could get that body.
Oh man, don't worry. I'll send you enough steroids and human growth hormone.
I want natural.
You'll look like the Liver King in 6 weeks, bro. The Liver King, 12 grand a week or a month.
I don't want to become small, if you know what I mean.
Yo, bro, this guy, the Liver King, was taking all kinds of stuff. Trust me, I tell you, you'll grow huge. Don't worry about it. You'll be a big boy.
But they shrink your dick.
You won't know what fat looks like anymore. You'll be like,
no, I don't want to. Dude, I want to press the ladies in other areas, not like that.
They got surgery, bro. Don't worry, we got.
No, I don't want. But no, like I'll be the most shredded spider ham ever.
Yo, you should do it. Yeah, you gotta keep. Can you
imagine that?
Round, though, but all like a 12-pack. You just got 6-pack, and there's another 6-pack.
Like, why the fuck is there a giant? Why is there a spider pig all buffed out?
It'd be like buff Danny DeVito Spider Ham.
Oh my god, that would be perfect.
No. Hey, how about this? Just cut the middle. Get out the middle, man. Just get Danny DeVito.
Just get Danny DeVito, yeah, and just throw a Spider-Man ham mask on him. That's it. Just let him walk around with like a wet, drippy hand all the time. Yeah, I would love to see that for sure.
He's funny. I like him as an actor.
Yeah, dude, I love
He's supposed to be funny.
I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's still on the air, right? It's like what, 13 seasons? That's
I still remember.
Crazy.
Jeez, I still remember when that first came out. Like
dude, I watched that show religiously for years. I think I got lost in the last year or two, so I'm not sure if it ended.
I'm pretty sure you were like you had a whole shrine playing to it. Is that what you meant by religiously? Like honey, I don't know, like some shit like that. Yes, Danny DeVito. You guys trying to dedicate just to Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Silk. I think we got off topic. Like, I know Chris gave behind people in the audience, in the chat. Chris gave us a good outline, but even I was excited. It's like, yeah, we have order, but here I am taking things to an
we were talking about
order. Yeah, but see, this is like Jackass, where there's a script, but it's more just like, hey, here's what you're gonna do now. Go do it in the best way possible, or worse, or somewhat kind of in the middle, whatever.
Whatever. We don't give a fuck.
We don't care. Just get it done. That's it. Listen, we want a show. That's it. Like I said, I'm available right now. I'm not going to be available for much longer, so you guys got a couple of weeks, okay?
Wait, why?
I'm going to be on a super secret project. I don't even know what it is yet. but I
Oh
heard
shit!
mid-January. So don't
Oh,
worry though. I'll
man.
still try to make it. I'll make
Damn
it
it,
from my
you gonna
super
leave
secret
Chris with me?
locations.
Like, the
Say
show
what?
didn't get good. The show didn't get good until you came on.
Listen, I ain't going nowhere. Don't worry about it.
Why do
I'll
you think
still
Chris
do
invited you? He's like, I'm getting tired of Alex. I need someone new.
Listen, I'm the new kid on the block with the shiny toys. This all dolls out in a couple of weeks. It's all good. But no, I'm staying. But I got some real I'm gonna try to figure out how I could disseminate this without
Doing your
breaking
NDA?
confidentiality.
Yeah, without
So
breaking your NDA.
it's not anything. Yeah, I guess. I mean, like it's weird to describe. So if you never worked in the business, it's like you're an independent contractor.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
do X, Y, Z for them. Let's say, right?
Yeah.
I can't say specifically what it is, but I
Well,
work
does
with
it
them
involve
side by
paper?
side. Say what?
Does it involve paper? Can you at least tell us that?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
We'll get
It
one step closer
involves
to figuring it
no.
out.
I say one more thing though. It does involve a lot of transportation, but I'm not driving like any kind of heavy machinery. I'll
You're
put
an
it to you
Uber
like that.
driver?
Okay.
No. I'm pretty much like the driver. And I'll just leave it at that. If that pretty much means like when you come from Hollywood and you want to make something, pretty much who's driving you? I am pretty much. That's who I am. So
Hey,
I can't talk.
Chris, we should go to Hollywood. See if he drives us.
Now I never said it was in Hollywood. I said people who come from Hollywood
Oh.
to film with us. So it's an entire organization.
Sounds like
It
a
ain't-
porno. It's like you film
No.
with us. It's like,
No,
damn, Alex, that's the
not
kind
at
of
all.
business you want to.
Not
Or
at
is
all.
that kind of business? Okay, I see.
Come join Tony Stark on the casting couch.
No, not at all. It's
Like, wait.
it's hard to describe, but it's pretty much like you're kind of behind the scenes. I mean, I have gotten into well, I could talk about it now because it's over, so that's not breaking confidentiality.
No stepdaddy. No,
They were filming the last season of what was that show? I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was an HBO show. Anyway.
Titans?
No. It was it was like the one with the robots. Damn, I forget the name of it.
That could be a lot of
That's
stuff.
it. Westworld.
Oh,
Yeah, it was Westworld.
Wait, they're still doing
Okay.
that?
Yeah, Westworld. No, yeah, that's when I'm telling you, like the last time I was actually like walked through a scene when they were actually filming. And I was just like trying to get out the way, but I was directed to go into the scene. They said cut. They said, okay, rewind that. They said, you want to stay in the scene? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I'm kind of like in the hallway scene passing by. Like
shit,
inadvertently, this is
What
how they
episode?
shoot. I'm not sure, but I know it's like the last season that just shot, and I think they shot
Damn.
one more season. So it's the
Now I
season
gotta
before
watch
that
it
one.
now.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're lucky, you'll see me, but you're not gonna know
Watching
who I
with
am
my
anyway.
friends. Oh my
So
god, I know that guy.
just keep
feel
it,
late.
but things like that. I mean, like, so the work that we do is pretty much like in 1 minute I'm in a freaking film, and I'm like, what the hell? Oh, and another time that I was actually in a vehicle, and they liked the vehicle the way it was. It was like, can you leave your lights on? Just sitting there for a minute. I'm like, okay, and I got like, oh, like this is what happens. It's just weird things. Like one
That's
day, like I said.
amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's just crazy. I just like it's the most weirdest job you can ever have because it's so many things that go on that you could talk about, but you really can't. So you gotta be careful how you disseminate
Wait, is that
your
why you
info.
cover
But you
your
love
face?
every single minute
Yes,
of it.
Wait, is that why you cover
absolutely.
your face so people
That's-
won't recognize you?
I mean, I just don't care for the fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got enough notoriety in the world, so
That's
you know.
good. That's good. You're staying
I mean,
humble.
I really do. Like, I don't have no reason to get any more. You know, like
Yeah.
this is how I want to do it. I'm
you
all
go.
about the comic book. I'm all about the lore. You know, maybe one day,
Well,
you know, he becomes
it
a mess,
special.
but that's gonna be a whole Spider's Lair special, man. You know,
It makes it special that you choose to come on here when you're such a big shot, talking to us normal people, normies.
So I think that brings us into our next point: is why is Silk such a pivotal character?
Oh, I was
Why?
like, what? Where are you going with this?
So like Ezekiel Sims is huge for Silk. Like he's kind of like the person who took Silk and Cindy Moon under his wing when this all first started. He is part of the Spider Society and saves Silk from Moreland, which is a psychic vampire. So,
Yes.
do you think that Morbius could get dragged into this? The vampire realm could get dragged into this, and then Sims could get dragged into this.
Hopefully,
old-
I think that would be really cool. I mean, I would if they get dragged into it. I hope they could have a redemption for Morbius.
Right?
I mean, maybe they could do it better.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with that, but also think about this. What do we have that's hot right now? It's been going hot for a while with video games and comics. Oh, damn, we have what? The Midnight Suns. How are you going to let that pass up? Silk
Yeah.
Society works into Midnight Suns. They need enemies to fight.
The
Peter
comics are
Parker
good.
had the Sinister Six. Why not Silk have the Midnight Suns? Right?
Wait, are we
Somebody
talking about
turns.
the original Midnight Suns or the new
No,
Midnight Suns?
I'm saying for the new. I'm just saying for imagination purposes only. Why don't we have Silk have those be the enemy to the Silk Society, the
Yeah.
Midnight Suns? You
With
know
the-
they all
Sweet.
turn.
With
What
the Suns
redemption?
with an O or the U? Because there's a new comic book series called Midnight Suns.
Oh
Really?
wait,
That's why
I
I was
didn't
asking,
know.
old or new.
I'm gonna say the new, not the
So,
old, because
The one with the
I would
U.
like it to be the old, and I still have. I have every single one of those. I love those.
I
I
love
was
them too. But the
I
new
like. I
Midnight
opened
Suns
up
are
some
really
of them. I did. I had to because the posters are so badass, and
yeah.
the things
The
that you
new
get in those
Midnight
packages,
Suns
forget
is
about it.
good.
I can't wait
But-
till that video game comes out.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
been hearing good reviews about it
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, it's been getting really good reviews. I want to play that so badly.
And the new
But
comic
yeah.
book, the series is pretty good. I'm on issue 3, and it's really good. But yeah, I think like regardless, both like the old ones with the posters or the new series, I would love to see that. Because it would be also a different iteration of Ghost Rider. It's
Yeah.
the Native
Yeah.
American one. That would be amazing to see on screen.
Yeah, I don't know if I would love to see them do the original Rise of the Midnight Suns. I mean, in my opinion, that was like really an awesome. Oh man, that was one of the hottest comics in the early '90s. I remember like everybody was going crazy buying these things, like
I know. I
just
have them all.
snatching them up. Yeah, I have them all too, and I found them over the years. And I just kept stacking them. I mean, I can't. I'm not gonna complain about it, but it's just like I have to go through thousands of these things and just like sort everything. It's so I have so many of them that
You're the reason why it was hard for me to buy one. Because you've been hoarding them. I see how it is.
You don't understand. Like I was buying comics at one point for so many years, and I don't know if you guys watch my videos, but I do like 4 bundles every night. But I'm telling you, I have so many bundles. Like it's gonna take me like a year and a half just to open the ones I have now. If I film 4 a day, it'll take me a year, and it's not stopping. So you just get an idea of what I'm going through. Like,
and that's if you don't buy any more in that
I mean,
year?
if I see that the demand, no, if I don't buy anymore, yeah, I don't even. Jesus, it's like 1, 2, 3. I don't know, 500, 600 bundles at this point that have 3
Jesus
comics
Christ.
in them each, right? And then it just doesn't stop. I mean, this
Yeah.
is like a lifelong obsession, but also it's just so hard to organize all these things. But I know it sounds like I'm complaining, but it's
Nah,
like the
nah.
ultimate dream and a
You're just
nightmare at the
flexing
same
on us.
time. No, I'm not.
You're in the
I
movie
swear I'm not.
business and you're buying thousands of comics. While
I
Chris
just
and I are poor. Well, I don't know about Chris, but
I just been buying comics for so many years that throughout the years, like people recognized what I was doing and they liked me, so they were like, "Look, we're gonna hook you up because you know why? You've been loyal for like decades." So
that's amazing.
yeah. I
But
mean, and
how many
the,
Silk comics do you have? Like, very quick.
okay, so the original Silk, which is which one? Original Sin 4 with the Spider-Man being bit on the hand. I think I have about. I thought it was 8, but I was wrong. I have 6 of those, and
Oh.
they're the second printings. So let me see. So the second printings, I think, were going like at a CGC 98 from what I checked before. I think about 500 at this point. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. So those are going in. I'm gonna do a show on those because I'm gonna be pulling them out. What I like to call my Pandora's box. It's like I have a lot of crazy stuff just put together that I gotta go through, and these silks I have are definitely going in. they're the second printing. So it's like the same. It looks like the exact same cover. It just says in small lettering underneath second printing. I'm just trying to see if I took a screenshot of it.
I like the cover for Original Sins. For
Yeah,
Cindy
it's
Moon.
really nice. I really like that cover. Like I remember seeing it, and I mean back then I paid a pretty penny for them. Compared to what they were now, I pretty much got them for a steal, you know. But when I had bought them, I didn't realize that when I got them, it said second printing, which was even better because I was like, oh my god, wait a minute. I told the guy, I said, you know, you gave me second printing. He was like, yeah, I know. And what the price was like, you know, I like to do good business, in other words. So he gave
Isn't it
me
kind of
books
weird
that were
that
like
some?
that
Isn't
are
it kind of
really
weird that some second printings are worth more than the first?
well. It depends now
Yeah.
on the printability of it and the
Yeah.
availability. So you see, what happened with the second printing was that they were afraid that they were going to run out of the first printing, so they did like a limited print and then stopped. And these things got distributed in very limited quantities, so people were grabbing them up. I grabbed some up back in the day, and I traded them for other stuff. So when I came across them again, I knew, oh no, this is a speculation book, so I'm gonna make sure that I get these books back, and then I'm gonna hold on to them. I'm gonna CGC them when the time's right, and now's the time's right, you know, because
Yeah.
right now I'm gonna be pulling out these are grails at this point, you know, and these are spec books, you know, like uh I'm all for the Spider-Verse expanded. I'm down for that, you know. For me, there's always gonna be one Peter Parker. Period. We could debate on which is the best Peter Parker in another show, but there's always gonna be one Peter Parker. But I also believe that there's room in you know, in the expansion of this universe. And I like that question because I answer that right now. Who I would like to see, or who I think would be in the Spider Society? What about the Sinister Six? But we're talking about the female version of the Sinister Six. You have yes. Think about that. The kind of show you want to do with females, right? I don't care that it's a female. I'm fine with that. We already have this male established thing. I don't care about all this sexist stuff. She's a female starting it off. That's cool. Give her some nice female characters to fight.
So you're thinking like female Electro,
female
Dr.
Electro,
Octavius,
female
Octavia.
Doc Ock, Octavia, yes. And who else is it? Oh, if you're talking about Craven, I don't know if it's his sister supposed to be in this universe or it's just a female version of Craven. But there's a Sinister Six that already exists with the Spider Girl comics, and they're all female Sinister Six. I give up characters like that already exists in the lore. If they're gonna follow the lore, definitely pull out the Sinister Six. Give her her own Sinister Six to follow.
I was almost wondering if this was gonna go more demon vampire-esque, like keep it on that side of the realm, and then you have Tom Holland Spider-Man over here fighting more of like the Mysterio, Electro, like that Sinister Six.
Yeah.
And
that'd be cool.
Because I like you said, the Midnight Suns, and that's kind of like that mystical idea, that mystical realm.
Oh, without a doubt, I would love to see it go that way for sure.
And
I mean, for me, I hope they definitely do it.
Yeah, because if you could go mystic with this, that'd be really sweet.
I mean, think about it.
It'd be different from what we've been seeing too, like the different like god worlds that we've been seeing, like different worlds. But if we go to demonic, that'd be really cool. That could capture a lot of people's attention and something new, something dark.
Yeah.
And visually, I think if it's done right, it's gonna look amazing.
Yeah. Well, think about it like this. One of the most successful movies they had in 2022 was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, feel however you want about that, but do a lot of stop framing on that because Kazar, whatever Kazar comics you got, I would suggest you start cleaning them up.
Wait, what kind?
Any Kazar comic. Any of them, because I'm going to tell you,
I have a good mount for them.
When you get that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, you gotta stop freezing. I'm gonna do a video on that. Stop freezing, show you the Kazar world. They already popped it up. They felt the Kazar's world.
I remember that.
Yes, the Savage Land was already shown. It was shown right after the 2090. He fell into the 2099 world, then tumbled into some other world. But I peeped that, and
I love Kazar.
That's what I'm telling you.
Is it Kazar or Khazar? Because I've heard it two different ways.
It depends on who you talk to.
It's Kazar.
Kazar?
People say Kazar. You know, whatever it is. I agree with everybody. We gotta call him Kazar from this point on until somebody else a better note comes and tells us
Or we
otherwise.
can just call him Tarzan.
Yeah,
There you go.
Tarzan, Kazar,
So
Pause. So any of those books you have, start
Kazan.
start pulling them because I've been pulling all my Kazars lately. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm going through my bundles finding new
Yeah.
older Kazars. I think I pulled one recently. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
have
number
a
12.
2-in-1 with the thing. Well, no, with the Hulk and Kazar that I was really happy to
Yeah,
get.
I'm telling you, things like that are gonna be bumping up in price
Oh
soon.
shit! I'm so glad I've been getting some Kazars.
And that we're only talking about two of her supposed enemies, or there's so many more you could do. What do you think, Chris? What would you like to see? I would love to see the whole Midnight Sun thing go down the way you said, because they should go the mystical route with the whole Doctor Strange, tie him in somehow, tie in his suit, whatever you gotta tie in,
Yeah.
tie them into this. It'll be easy for Sony to do. They own all the rights to this stuff, so it'll be easy for
And
them to cherry pick what they want.
it seems like Sony and Disney are on pretty good terms right now. It seems like they are okay with doing crossover stuff.
Yeah,
so hopefully,
so long as, and this is the caveat, so long as Sony has control over production.
yes.
That's it.
Yep.
And they can't argue against that because, first of all, Sony and you, what was your experience compared to them? Nothing. So they had taken Spider-Man and Sony Columbia, like they protected him throughout the years. I did like that, and they were smart to do that. You know, it's like that's what you do. You hold that character back, and you get everything you can out of it, and you don't break his legacy, and you don't disrespect where it came from. In other words, people gotta love the fact that Spider-Man stood the way he should have stayed, and that was all on a mistake that they made when they did the contract originally. You know, Stan Lee sold him for like nothing. I mean, people complain about when New York got Babe Ruth for like no net. I mean, Stan Lee sold freaking the rights to the Hulk, Spider-Man, Thor for like 500,000.
Yeah.
He didn't know what he was doing back then, you know. And they got complete control over that. But you know what? It turned out good because, first of all, those guys are from the old school, and they realized we gotta preserve this.
Yep.
This is the greatest story that he ever written. Greatest story that was ever made, Marvel. And I'm not saying Fantastic Four, all those are not great. They are. But let's be honest. If it wasn't for Spider-Man, none of these comics would have been good. But DC would have stopped them in the end. DC would have stopped them in the end. Spider-Man is what brought them to the next level, where now we can compete on even terms with with DC, and we can even stomp a mud hole in their heads if we want. And that's how you make a comic book company. Exactly like that. That's why I like Spider-Man, because I feel like for all the comics that were ever made, that Spider-Man is the most valued asset that any comic book company's ever had.
Yeah.
And he's also the most protected in a weird way
100%.
because we don't know how it would have been had you guys kept control over the visual rights of distributing Spider-Man. But I could tell you, I do remember on reruns seeing that atrocious Spider-Man show. Like, I was Spider-Man fan, and I couldn't even watch it for 2 damn minutes. And I was a little kid, like, what is this? It's just like, he's just like, yo, I see toys climb better than this guy. Come on.
Very quick. Chris, Spider's Lair, it's nice seeing you again. I'm gonna
you gotta jump on Whatnot, don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna start getting ready for my show in
All
5
right,
minutes.
man,
Do it up, buddy.
Brother.
Great seeing you guys again. Great talking.
I'm gonna jump on later, and yo, you got some Spider-Man stuff? Let me know. Hook me up.
Not yet. Probably my next show.
Yo, you hit me up directly, man. We don't pay taxes over here. Oh, wait, government, you didn't hear me say that. It's not my show anyway, so I'm good.
All right, have a great night. Hopefully,
nobody even knows who he is, so he's good.
Yeah, we're gonna blow up now. There's gonna be like 25,000 subscribers coming on this channel tomorrow, and all 22,000 are gonna work for the government.
All right, have a great night, everyone.
All right, you too, Alex. Good luck, my brother. Take care. Oh man, I like messing with Alex sometimes.
So my biggest thing is that Sony is not afraid. They are not afraid to do new characters.
Yeah.
Like, hands down, Sony is not afraid to take new characters and put them into movies and one of the biggest characters that I'm really excited to see and hope to see in this is Kindred. If you go the demonic route, if you go to that next level, like just crazy out there ideas, Kindred is an amazing character to go after because
definitely.
you start to get into this really interesting side of Harry Osborn. You could go Red Goblin with Norman Osborn. You could go so many different ways with this.
You're talking. Let me just show you what I picked up real quick since we're talking about the Goblin. Check that out.
That's amazing. I love that.
Variant. And wait, I got the original one too, which I just picked these up, so I didn't even put these away. The things I got laying around here is incredible. So look, this is the other one, the Gold Goblin #1. Yeah. So I was actually lucky I found this one, and this one is the 4th variant actually, the one with the Green Goblin on the cover. So which I don't know if you know how to read the variants. Have you ever about what that tells you, the barcode? How to read those
the barcode
variants?
part. Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much like if anybody doesn't know, when you go to the barcode, go down to the bottom, and you pretty much look at the variant. You got 00, which stands for your first, the very first one, and this one says 4, which means this is a 4th variant.
Yep.
First printing. So, but they could make that a 2nd printed. See, this is what's tricky about comics. It's like there's a whole code written there, and if you know these codes, this is why, like, there you go. Oh, let me see that, baby. I love it. That's what's up. I'm trying to find my own Christmas Spider-Man, but they're put away deep. But I want to break those out for the holidays because what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to film about a couple hours of content for the week because the 13 days of Spider's Lair is going to begin. I'm giving away something every day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, put little instructions on there. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. I'm still giving away that box of comics. This is all going to tie in. I'm still going to do the 13 days giveaway. I'm going to do I pretty much leave instructions on what I want people to do. But yeah, I want to do this giveaway so badly. I got so much stuff that I want to give away that I was fortunate enough to run across that I actually have in duplicate that I don't mind sharing with the world, especially people who are stuck by me. So I just thank everybody that stuck by me, and sorry I haven't been keeping up with the contest. It's just so much stuff going on. It's really so I just decided, what, Christmas would be a good time to do this, spread a little Christmas cheer, get used to mailing things again, get back into the whole hustling and selling the comics that I got so many I gotta get rid of. It's not like I can keep everything. I mean, there's only so much space. I mean, I'm literally contemplating on getting another place, so it's crazy. But I just want to get there was a lot of stuff that I got that I don't mind sharing with the world, and I should share some of it. But the core of my stuff, I don't have no I don't have no plans to sell anything anytime soon. This is just stuff that I've always had, and I can't imagine not having. It's just weird, Like if it ever does go to a sale, it's gonna be something huge. I can't do it on I'm not gonna be dropping books here and there. It's just a love for me. It's more than that. Like everything I got up there, like I said, it's a lot of that stuff is from when I was younger, and I was able to grab a lot of these books, and I got lucky, with a lot of them. And I was like, okay, I'll hold this one, hold that one, and see what happens. And then, CGC, that was the perfect thing that came out. Because I didn't like when it first came out, so I waited. When something's new, I always say, don't do it when it's new. Agreed. Wait until somebody breaks it first, then make it new again. Because now the CGC...
And it continues to break even now.
Yeah. I mean, the CGCs they're making now, right? I don't know if this one has it or not. No, these don't even have it. But I do have one laying around somewhere. Now they put the QR codes in the back, the way that CBCS was doing, and GPS, they were doing this already.
I love the way that CBCS does their slab.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest. I have so many signed books from Stan Lee that I can't even give to CGC. I'm not giving that to CGC for what? So they can slap a blue label on it? No, I'm good. I'll send it to CBCS because at least there they have authenticators that they can authenticate Stan Lee's signature, and I'll get all of my signature.
What did they slap a green label on it?
No, they won't. Not CBCS because they have authenticators. They have signature authenticators.
No, it's CGC. I mean,
no, CGC will slap. They could slap a blue or green label on it. It depends on how they feel.
Okay.
I've seen both. I've
Yeah.
seen both, and I don't want neither. You know what I'm saying? Neither would do me no good. But at least with CBCS, they do have authenticators, and from what I
Yeah.
understand, it's a group of 5 or 10, and every authenticator has to agree on the signature. Otherwise, that can get a green signature. You know,
No.
so it's not like I'm submitting anything that I don't know is not Stanley. No, everything I have is that I have that sign from that man is from him. So these are things I
Yeah.
gotta put into plastic anyway, and I have to get that done because this is something that I need to preserve, and this is just more of my responsibility. I send in things to CGC. I was lucky to get everything signed the way I did. I went to a couple of conventions when I was younger. I didn't want to really wait online. I remember one day I was waiting online for like 3 hours. I was so mad, but hey, I got
get
up
it.
online. I got all my stuff signed. And I was like, all right, it was worth it. Met the guys. You know, they make it worth your while. So if you gotta do a little hustle out there, you know, that's fine. It's just like I said with what was going on in the last Comic-Con, especially this one. Oh, man, it was like a riot out there. I mean, Comic-Con's turning rough now. It's like the streets. Don't mess around in New York Comic-Con. They'll knife you online. I'm telling you, it was crazy. Like what I was seeing there, I was like, wow, this is like I've never seen anything like that before in a Comic-Con. I was like, okay, let's see what happens next year. Next year,
Yeah.
I gotta go strapped. But so let's get back on top of it. I don't want to keep jammering.
So no, you're good. I totally love it. Like everything about that is awesome because it's like this is where it all started. Like at those small Comic-Cons that grew into these big, massive Comic-Cons. And it's like, you know, we have some really awesome people out there that love these books. Like,
Yes.
and not everyone understands. And I totally get that. Like, I don't understand why my wife follows certain makeup artists. Like, I don't get that. But then you see what they can do, and you're like, oh, well, I guess that's really fucking cool. Like, shit.
This is why if your wife or any woman out there that ever needs to wonder or understand why, just say like this. It's like shoes. Once you say that, you guys got a connection for life. It's exactly like shoes.
Yep.
Because women's shoes are money. They're highly collectible. These are things that women love. They're highly collectible. This is what makes a woman's sex appeal come out. You know, they wear it for us, and they wear it for themselves as well. You know,
Yep.
you know, nothing looks classier than a nice woman with long legs and heels just walking classfully. That's why that's a class status. You know. So it's like us. That's right. We got class too. We got CGCs. We got comics. They're classy. They're sexy. Look at all that art. It's exactly the same thing, just from a different perspective. Once you understand the woman mindset and you understand, that's why anything I ever liked, I always tell women the same thing. It's just like collecting shoes, you know, and that's the way it is. And women can relate to that. I mean, anything that's worth collecting usually has some kind of appeal.
Oh, definitely.
You know, we get drawn from this, you know. I'm just lucky that my girl's high end fashion. She loves fashion. She's good at fashion, and she also loves collecting, and she loves comics. So it's like I got the best of both worlds. I'm like, good for you. You know, she understands that. Very artsy, very articulate. I love that. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what you need. You know, and like even if your wife doesn't understand, which I'm pretty sure she does, she sees how you are. You know, so she gets it. You know,
Oh,
you
totally.
collect. Yeah, you collect. I mean, you gotta have someone with the right mindset for that kind of like, you know, collection. This is something that I was gonna do. I'm gonna keep doing, and whoever loves me, hate me. This is me right here. You ever see that movie where he's like, "All right, I'm gonna show you my door. This is what I would show."
Yeah.
They were like, "Okay, this is so cool. Oh, I gotta run. This guy's nuts." But that's part of who we are. Like you said, little comics. I tell you the truth. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can look this up for me and tell me if I'm right or wrong. The very first Comic-Con I went to, and it wasn't called that. It was called the New York City Comic Book Convention and Hall. It was in Madison Square Garden, and I do believe the year was 1987 or 86. Wait, maybe 80. I'm gonna say from 85 to 87. Okay, there was a signing that was done there. Bob McLeod. No, it was Bob McLeod. Mike Zeck was supposed to be there, but he didn't go. Stanley was there as well. That was the first comic book convention that I went to, and I was a child. So I'm going back. This is Madison Square Garden. I mean, I remember this like it was yesterday. And
It's awesome.
throughout the years, we started going to the conventions that were going down at Jacob Javits Convention Center, and we started seeing in the early 2000s that Xbox was doing like a convention. They would get with the comic developers, and then people started to see that this was all blended together. And we
Yeah.
were talking about, we used to go to Madison Square Garden for the show. Now it's in Jacob Javits Convention Center, and then within like by 2005 to 2006, you got what you call right now the Modern Comic Con. So yeah, I gotta say, I was there pretty much from the beginning too. It was a
awesome.
good thing to see. I mean, it went from like a ballroom with a couple of nice tables, and I remember I picked up that day. I still have it. I didn't see it yet. I'm going to. I'm gonna clean it and press it. I still have this book, and I remember I was young. I was like 8 or 9. I bought Amazing Spider-Man number 87 for $1.
Wow. That's
I
crazy.
remember that. And I remember loving the cover because it said Unmasked at Last. That's why I wanted you to look up the year, because I would like to know. But I believe that was the year.
Yeah.
And I bought this thinking, wow, I got this Amazing Spider-Man 87. Now, at that point, we're talking that Amazing Spider-Man had to be in the low 200s by that point. Maybe 210, 215. I'm not even sure. Maybe low. Maybe I'm lower. Maybe like 180, 190. So we were still floating around,
Yeah.
the Silver Age going into the which one's more, the copper or bronze? I guess the Bronze Age. Yeah.
Yep.
So going into the Bronze Age, which still don't sleep on the Bronze Age, because we
Yeah.
have some hits in the Bronze Age too
Oh yeah, for sure.
that were grails. Like no one would see that these became grails. And this all connects to Silk, so I'm getting there. So I'm sorry. I'm
No, you're
too
good.
long, but I'm
Keep
getting to
going.
the point of where it all originated from.
Yeah.
So everything piles on, and this is where the Spider-Verse becomes, how you start getting the multiverse idea, because you gotta understand there was like this comes from DC. No matter what anybody says, Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's it. I can show you these things from the 90s, and I can show you that with Secret Wars side by side. Secret Wars was something different. Secret Wars was about a being called the Beyonder, and the Beyonders are the testers to human beings' capacity. In other words, you're cosmic. What are you going to the next level? You don't go to the next level, they wipe you out.
Shit.
Because there's two sects of alien life forms, celestial life forms, cosmic beings, whatever you want to call them. They believe that the humans are the new gods. That's what mutants are. They're the new gods. Everything you see, even in the Spider-Verse, they're the new gods. That's what this all leads to.
Yeah.
And these are the old gods, and they're always watching, because they have a duty to the new gods. Assist. You're not supposed to come in and rebel against the new gods, but that's what's going to happen. And Silk winds into all this too, because you got to understand, these are people, she's still trying to figure out who she's going to be. Her enemies, I think her enemies are going to be the people she got away from in Korea, because she's going to go back to Koreatown and she's going to cause some trouble. She's going to turn shit upside down. And I believe that they're going to have an entire, an entire enemy set for her to have, battles with. And however, on long her way from fighting the human parts is when now you could say she could run into like some kind of entities from the Midnight Suns, like things that can go dark for her, that will fit in like a flash in and out, and then bring you back to reality so you could fight. Kind of like what would be the best example of what I just said? I'm trying to think like what would be the best example of that. Somebody flashing in and out of they'll see like a dark vision, and then they get back to the fight. And this was going on somewhere in Marvel. I'm trying to think of the character that would be closest to this. Maybe some Jessica Jones, like the flashbacks that she was having. She would be like in 1 minute into a fight, she would have these weird flashbacks, and then she'd be like back to her, like maybe something like that. Because remember, she's gonna have powers that she don't understand. She's got Spidey sense. She's not meeting Peter Parker at this point, so she got Spidey sense. She's learning, I guess, from the news, that she sees this guy flying around, and I don't think they're gonna concentrate on that right off the bat. I think that if they're smart, they'll let her develop her own style along the way, and then she finds out, oh, okay, there's this person. Because remember, she's trying to stay low at this point. She's trying to investigate what happened, who kidnapped her, because I do believe, like, if they're following the story from the comics, that they do have one of her family members still. I think it's the mother. I'm not sure. I mean, I have to go back and see.
Yes, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember
Exactly.
either. And like I said, because they're not giving details as to what they're actually going to follow, it's hard to determine
Yeah.
which way they would go. But I would like to see that be the enemy, but then reveal the true enemy. And who could that be? Like we said, I would love to see anything from the Midnight Suns. I'll be dying to see anything from the Midnight Suns at this point. That would make me very happy to see that. So if we saw anything from the Midnight Suns, I would definitely say, yeah, I would like to see that. Like, give her a human enemy, something to overcome, something that she can learn from, so she becomes a better Spider person. And then you get her with the real enemy, the most dangerous part. That's what I believe. I just don't know how they're gonna follow it yet, because it's been, I mean, even from people I know that are in the industry, this came down as a complete surprise. Like, some people knew about it up to like a month and a half ago, but that was like the soonest they knew it. Even then, it was all like speculation, but this was already a deal being hashed, like behind the scenes, quick. They're trying to get it in for this quarter, write-offs, investments, like this is the things they do to balance out their books to begin with, and on top of that, smart business. So hey, whatever you guys got to do to clean your shit up, it's all good. Just make sure you make a good show. That's all I say. The thing about it is, like I said, because this is such virgin territory, it's very hard to say how they could do this. But however they're gonna do this, at least Sony's gonna produce it, and that's what I'm happiest about most of all. So honestly, I really don't know which way they're gonna go with this. I mean, we can speculate all day, but at the end of the day, they have a plan for this already. We just gotta go along and hope and pray that hey, listen, I'm not even asking you guys to make like a film quality one. Just make it like as good as Netflix. That's it. Like, I'm not even asking for much. Netflix. I was amazed with the Daredevil budget. They didn't have enough money to make him flip and do acrobats. If you think about it, because Daredevil in the comics, he's supposed to be an acrobatic character. And if you knows about She-Hulk, what a lot of people didn't know, that's why I was like one of the only episodes I liked about him, because they showed Daredevil doing what Daredevil does, which is multiple flips off a building. Now think about that. Have you seen that in the Daredevil show on Netflix?
Not much.
No, because there was no budget in it for them to do it. So you got him fighting, which looked good. But now you're talking about the same production company. No, a bigger production company, Sony, with the abilities that they have and the experience they have with making Spider-Man look as cool as he does. Imagine with some time and complete control of what you could do with your art, what they could do with Silk.
And what they can do in a TV show.
That's what I'm saying. Like this could be like the next, like this. I really like the Arrowverse. The problem is that it never made no damn money. You can't make. You got to make it to where it's going to make money. And this would make money because, first of all, it's on a subscription-based platform. That's great.
Yeah.
So right off the bat,
was they never put the money into the Arrowverse they should have, and they never did it.
Yep.
They did it old school way, and it flopped.
Right. They tried to do it an old school way for the modern audience, which was completely insane. You just literally cut yourself from both ends. So, I mean, like you said, they didn't put the investment in needed. However, this is Sony now, so Sony already knows. If you're talking about characters that you could work with in the Spider-Verse, you're talking about over 800 characters. I don't know if you realize how many characters there really are.
It's crazy. I mean, like shit. 800 characters just alone that Sony owns.
I got 6 symbiotes. They're original. Let's put them in together. Let them float out there. Hey, they're ready to go whenever you guys want to buy them. It's all good. Don't worry. I got hundreds more. Hundreds. I'm not worried about it. I'm a creator. So, like I see that. And this is what it's all about for me. It's like 800 plus characters. That's 800 current. We're not even talking about the ones they got more damn characters than Pokemon.
They just created more with the Spider-Verse storyline they just came out with. Like every time a Spider-Man character is created, it immediately goes to Sony, which is crazy to think about. Like, why would you want to make more Spider-Man characters? But at the same time, if you have the relationship that you have with these creators and with the studio, why not give them more ammo? Give them more stuff to work with.
Absolutely.
And just allow them to run with it. Like that makes for great content. And Marvel knows that. Marvel's no idiot. They know the more they do, the more Sony does, the more everyone's going to make money. And they don't give a shit who makes money as long as they're making money in some way, shape, or form. Exactly. And like
web, baby.
what I want to end on is the fact that I think Ben Reilly could show up in this show.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started. If he gets, I would love to see Ben Reilly in there, because now we're talking about an entire infatuation that it still leads up to the fact that Ben Reilly and Peter Parker are one and the same. But I always get confused at the end of this, even as being a Spider-Man expert as I am. Ben Reilly was Peter Parker.
Yes.
He was the true Peter Parker that thought that he was not. So in reality,
he was the clone of Peter Parker.
He's a clone of Peter Parker. But who's the real Spider-Man? It's Peter Parker, or is it
Ben Reilly?
Ben Reilly is the real Spider-Man. So that's what always confused me about like the origin of it, because I mean it's weird if you go back to this story, because it goes back as far as the 70s. The Clone Project, and you're like, and you start to really look into it, you're like, damn, this story is that old. But yeah, that's like for me, that's like one of the most craziest Spider-Man stories ever, because Ben Reilly, Peter Parker, who you pick? I say it's who's the real Spider-Man. Honestly, it's who you like. Honestly, it could go either way, because they both are one and the same. Not their fault, you know. They are one and the same. It's just like one's a clone and one was born, one was made. You know, that's what also ties into the rest of this Spider-Verse, because you got over 800 characters. They're easy to make. They really are, with the right genetics, of course.
So I think I'll end it on this note. And I think the next best steps for Sony is to clone Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker and do it in the Amazing Spider-Man universe and have that be part of Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty cool.
I mean, that would be where I would go with it, because, I mean, Andrew Garfield is phenomenal, and the chemistry that him and Emma Stone had on screen. Could you imagine the like crazy storyline you could tell if you brought the Jackal in, Gwen Stacy comes back, Ben Reilly comes out of nowhere, and just flat out destroys like everything that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man just went through in No Way Home, and then just boom, you're on to Amazing Spider-Man 3. He's fighting whoever you want him to fight, and he has to deal with the emotional turmoil that he's going through, finding out he has a clone and finding out that Gwen Stacy is alive.
Yeah. I would love to see that, but just remember one thing, my friend. They don't want fans writing this for some reason.
I know.
So let's just hope that Sony, I have faith in Sony so far. I do have faith in Sony. Please, Sony. Please.
That's my Spider-Man theory, and I'm sticking to it for tonight.
Yo, I hope that's the case. I would like to see the same as well, especially the Gwen Stacy part, you know?
Yeah.
Because then we can get the Spider-Gwen.
Yes. So that's what we're gonna end on for tonight. Next week I think we should talk more about Ben Reilly. And maybe do the whole show about Ben Reilly and Spider-Man. Just talk about how like his origin, the same thing we kind of did with Silk. Just kind of break down different Spider-Man characters.
Yeah,
and because I feel Ben Reilly could get his own Spider-Man spinoff too. That would be
he should.
Show.
Why not? He's legitimately the person that I would, if I'm gonna make a Spider-Man show, but I don't want to tarnish the Peter Parker version of it. Why not throw Ben Reilly in there? There you go. And then everything you need to know about Spider-Man will still exist in its own separate universe. That's a great idea.
Especially with all the stuff you can get into with Ben Reilly right now. Yeah, this is where you need to dive in.
Yes, definitely. And you know, look, like I told you, this dark web stuff right here. Oh man, this is like kind of connected to Ben Reilly right there. I believe. I'm
loving this Spider-Man run right now.
That is Ben Reilly on the cover. So hey, I'm all down for it as well. You know, let Ben Reilly shine.
Doing a phenomenal job with that character.
Yeah, definitely. Just keep going. Don't put no politics into it. Just make it all action like you've been, and we'll be good to go.
Amen. Have a great night,
brother. All right. Good night, everyone.
See ya.